Has she gone or is she here? Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is queer.
Boys and girls like her. This is what we've tried to do with the Star Wars saga now. We've tried to create more female characters who can represent so many things, because what we're trying to do isn't just create one type of character. We're trying to create a diverse range of characters, especially female characters that are strong, that are independent.
He's gay!
The Force Awakens, the female lead.
I didn't know this.
We haven't done a movie for 10 years, and here comes a Star Wars film, and here comes Rey.
Oh, God.
And it's, what is it? Is it Panic in the Streets?
There comes Rey.
Oh my gosh, a female lead in a Star Wars movie.
Oh my gosh.
And then the trailer for Rogue One comes out, and it's another female lead. Oh my gosh. How unfair. We've had probably like 2 million straight film cinematic roles where men have been leads. Well, too bad.
Think about it. She's not really going anywhere.
She's
Her
really
influence
not.
will linger.
No one's
in
ever
those
really
halls.
gone.
No
one's
ever
really gone.
Obama.
We speculated on this for years that the only way that this would actually be justifiable is if they fired her and publicly shamed her like they did Gina Carano, even though Gina didn't deserve any of that. But if they would have given her that same treatment, Kathleen Kennedy justified. But we always speculated that when she does leave, she will leave, have like a hero's, kind of, party and celebrate her and her accomplishments. And that's exactly what it is. And she still has massive influence over Lucasfilm. Nothing changes. It will continue to be what it always has been.
This is a woman who's like fucking 76 years old or some shit. Obviously, at some point, she was going to not be there anymore and step down.
Die.
After, almost 14 years of running this ship into the ground. But she handpicked her successors. Right.
Yes.
These successors have been handpicked for a year at least now.
Accessors.
Right. At least they've been handpicked. It's the people, and nothing's going to change because guess what? For the past 5 or 6 years, Dave Filoni has been in charge of the creative branch of Lucasfilm. He's overseen all the fucking projects from Kenobi to The Acolyte to obviously the things he's working directly on. He's provided input on all those things. We've seen that. It's really the only thing that he didn't have anything to do with was Andor, at least according to him, apparently. But he's been doing the creative stuff. Lin-Win Brennan has been managing the business side of things. The only thing that changes is their fucking titles and that Kathleen Kennedy's not there anymore. The people that work at Lucasfilm are also part of the problem. People want to pretend like Kathleen Kennedy, well, if she goes, then everything will be fine. And really, she's the one that's just forcing them to do all these things. No, she's not. Right? These people are all in lockstep with her. They are allies, not enemies. They always have been allies. They've been ideological allies, and they've been allies in what they're building in fucking Star Wars. And nothing changes. The status quo remains. The Hollywood Reporter's article was Star Wars shakeup, maybe in terms of titles, but in terms of nothing else. If Kathleen Kennedy had been fired and they brought somebody in from outside fucking Lucasfilm to take this place over and strip it down and fucking fix it, that would be a Star Wars shakeup. This is the Star Wars status quo remains the same.
These are her accomplices that are taking over, that murdered Star Wars. Nothing short of that. And it could get worse. It could actually get worse. Believe it or not, because things can always get worse in Hollywood. We could bring up the article. It's a fluff piece. It's a giant, fucking circle jerk of Kathleen Kennedy.
Does she take shots at the fans again? That's what
she does. There's a couple spots I can point to. It's a long overarching article that is from things that are currently in the works with Star Wars to her entire career history and what it was like working on ET or some shit.
Wow.
She has resentment towards Star Wars fans. You can tell that she just generally does not like the old fans at all.
Small vocal minority.
No, because she thought she was going to redo it and she's going to bring a whole new Star Wars audience in, and she didn't need the old.
I'm going to share it. Extra girl.
She did fuck all. And she didn't. She got revolted against.
Yeah. This is the way their entire ideology has always worked. It's always, this would all be successful if you would disappear. And there's always blame the next group.
Those kids.
I've looked at the ton of the responses online, and outside of the shills and all of that, it's tough to find some legitimate praise for her. It's really tough. Like, I was looking at the discussing film replies, even though they have me blocked about to call them a certain word, but in the replies, it was everybody, posting like the image, like everybody reading Hitler's dead and, all this stuff. But there was one guy who was like, really appreciate all the everything she did for Star Wars. She leaves a great legacy behind, and he's getting ratioed. But his comment was a troll comment because he had in his bio, he's a shit poster. So you saw there was no actual positive comments. Like, they can try to control this narrative all they want, but people understand that she was horrible at this and she ruined Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say it was Star Wars sex-plained.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could see, I'm sure they praised her.
But again, the shills are out there. The paid shills are going to praise her. We know that. But I'm just saying, like, just an average person out there, everyone understands that she fucked this up. That's her legacy.
That absolutely. And life chose it for her. Her actions chose it for her. Jeremy.
A lot of people are going to look back and point to, well, look at her prolific producer history and stuff.
That's what most of this article is.
You can say that obviously the people that she was working with had a huge role to play, and those start right there. What have been the highs and lows? That's the paragraph I'm going to start on. But the interesting part is that's why she was at Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy is not some creative producer. That's not her main role. Like, she's not one of those types of people. She is somebody who gets things done and gets people to work on things. And I think that is one of the more staggering failures of her time at Lucasfilm. Beyond just how poorly received a lot of shit was, it's the amount of projects that were announced and then never came to fruition. The amount of things that fucking fell apart under her watch, because that is why she is there. You know,
the amount of directors that were hired, celebrated, announced,
budgets,
and then all of a sudden,
more so budgets.
Like, didn't this start? Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. Didn't this start with Josh Trank being hired?
Boba Fett movie.
Yeah, being hired, a lot of hype around that, and then that project. I can't remember what happened with that, but
he got screwed. Chris Gore has the whole story.
Okay,
on that.
So I feel like that was the first creative that got involved with Kathleen Kennedy, and that was kind of the beginning right there to show what the pattern of behavior would be for the next decade plus.
Yeah, the most well known, of course, being Solo. Right, when they decided to refilm the vast majority of the movie and balloon the budget, and became one of the biggest flops in, the biggest flop really in Star Wars history, up until, of course, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the first thing she did when she came onto the scene. Just made that big forces female statement. I mean, she set the standard before she even did anything.
Yep. That whole first part of the article I scrolled through that you guys saw is just like, you're an amazing producer and you did all this great stuff before Star Wars. You got coffee on some of the greatest movies ever made. Okay. This is where we get to the meat, and there's not much here, but Deadline asks, what have been the highs and lows of running a company built on such a beloved IP? The highs include realizing how many people love Star Wars. You didn't realize that before? Is that something you had to realize when you took over?
Well, I think the answer is yeah, because she answers that later on in the same paragraph, that you have to expand the galaxy and you have to realize who the new audience is. And her answer came back, her. Because she wasn't interested in Star Wars before, so if they can get her, there's loads of people like her in the universe, and that's all Hollywood's been for decades. It's just the writers writing things for themselves when they were never interested in the IP to begin with.
She is James Gunn. She is whatever interests her. The 72-year-old grandma who should be writing $12 checks to her kids on Christmas is in charge of Star Wars. The majority of people, and certainly the people that I run into and people outside the business, they love Star Wars. Man, really? They love the movies. They might love all the shows. They might love some of the shows.
Oh, that is like the Rings of Power super fans when they said the great thing about Rings of Power is it might even make you love the books as well.
But when I came into this, I realized a few things. We had walked into a moment when there hadn't been any movies for 10 years or more, but there was still the memory of the greatest series of movies in cinema history. So you're walking into something that has enormous expectations. Yes. Yet at the same time, you know that you've got to find new characters and you have to expand the galaxy. And you need to think about who the new audience is. She always says this. That's what I feel that I did. I feel like I changed things.
Talk about your feelings, then you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah. And that's what I feel all the people that I've worked with over the last decade did. So she feels like they did a good job.
Oh, that's all that matters.
Well,
I think she succeeded. She did change the audience. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, right. But that sentence, the highs include bringing in a new audience. I think we did find new characters. We continue to find new characters. That's just wrong. Now, it might be right technically. There may be people that discovered Star Wars over the past decade. However, if you're talking about the trade-off with old fans leaving versus new fans coming in, it's not even fucking close. You know what? It would be one thing, and if all of us up here hated a lot of all the Disney Star Wars shit and were pissed because they're like moving in a new direction, but they were like successful and they actually did become massively popular with young people, and this next generation was more invested than ever in Star Wars, then we'd probably be up here like, well, we think it's shit, but apparently these Zoomers, whoever, they fucking love it. It's not the case. You have this small fraction of freakazoid weirdos, shippers, pronouns in bio queers out there
that are just really loud online.
They're really loud online, and ironically, Kathleen Kennedy's trying to say that about us in the next paragraph.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, but again, she goes, I feel like we did well, and I think we did find new characters. I think we did.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure
you
about
right.
that? And they had to remind her the lows, because she was trying to avoid it. The lows are that you've got a very, very small percentage of the fan base that has enormous expectations, and basically they want to continue to see pretty much the same thing.
Isn't that like the lowest rung of expectations for you to just do what you've done before? That feels like you can't really expect much less than just to do the same thing.
Too hard to like do Star Wars, and so we expect Star Wars. Ah, I see.
Shocker. Dude, this is such a fucking terrible line. Like, this is unbelievable. Anybody that has ever been successful, and I will apply sports to this, a coach that has a historic career and retires, do you think he's going to go, we won all these championships, but there's this small minority of fans that have expectations that want, like, it doesn't, that doesn't happen.
Just doing another one the next year. What do you mean?
Like, it's fucking
I believe that.
Fucking fans wanting us to win Super Bowls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, look, I know you won last time, but have you considered doing something new, like missing more?
What made us successful? That I guess they want to keep doing that.
But we need to do something different.
She's trying to say very, very small percentage of fans. No, that's like the entire fan base right there. But
didn't she just say in the line before, it's the greatest film series in history? Didn't she just fucking say that? That brings expectations, you dumb bitch. You are aware that it's the greatest film series in history. You're aware of that level of expectation. Now you're dismissing the fucking standard that George Lucas created that you admitted to. You dumb cunt.
But it's like, this is the most important, this is the biggest, franchise, whatever, history. The first thing we've got to do is kill all your fucking favorites off.
Well, because it's different, it's different. We want to be shocking. Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, it helps when the main character in a fucking mid-blonde going, mid-brunette going fucking nowhere for 3 films,
or making the black guy a janitor too.
You could make it work by killing off your big characters if you had a big character there, a new big character that was really connecting with audiences. Then you can maybe play a little bit risky with stuff like that. You can't fucking play it risky with a fucking mid-flat-chested, no, I don't know, she's got quite a great ass, brunette, who's just walking around going, oh, I'm great at everything. Oh, I fixed this. Oh, I beat him. Oh, I did that. And no growth whatsoever. And everyone's dropping like fucking flies. So, yeah, Luke, you're next. Carrie,
by the way,
that's drugs, but okay, you're going anyway.
And if you're not going to do that, which is, she didn't want to do the same thing, then
ironically, Force Awakens is literally the same movie.
I know, dude. Yeah. I know. And if you're not going to do that, then you're going to disappoint them. I'm not sure there's anything you can do about that, because you can't please everybody.
But there is something you can do about that. You can give the audience what they want. Because to know that they're not going to like it means that you know what they do like, and you're deliberately not doing it. So.
You literally have all the power to give them what they like. And as Disbrew said, the lowest effort would have been trying to do the same thing with the legacy characters, and they just, did a soft reboot of the movie where they had to like recreate terms of reboots and sequels and requels and midquels now, and it's a disaster.
The bottom line is she hates Star Wars fans. She hates what they represent. She hated them. She was never going to try and pander to Star Wars fans. It's not just her. It's Disney's messaging. It's all of that. They had no interest in carrying on George Lucas's legacy.
No,
in any capacity.
They tossed his treatments first chance they got. Tossed.
You don't have to like George, but you can like fucking Prophet.
Yes.
Not when it's toxic profit from racist and bigots. You can't do that, apparently.
Well, dude, I would don't need that money. Hitler's fucking coin if he was coming into my city.
I mean, I would too. I'm just saying.
They write what they know, and so in Hollywood they get promoted to get the jobs by stabbing other people in the back, and then they hate the fans. And so they don't realize that the way to actually make a new character would be to do all the good things with the characters that people like, and then the characters that are with them engaging in those adventures, the audience will grow to like as well. They always think you have to drag someone else down, sacrifice somebody else, lower them in order to uplift this other person, which is why they always have to destroy the originals, and it just works against them.
Well, she's delusional. I don't think she knows what's going on in her company half the time creatively, and I don't think she cares. She's a facilitator. That's all she did as a producer, and she was the worst executive in Hollywood history, without a doubt. A woman. They wanted to make sure to tell us all that she was a female executive, Jeremy. This is a powerful female executive who destroyed something a man created.
And they replaced her with a woman and the most feminine person at Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni.
Yes. All you can do is try to tell good stories and try to stick to the essence of what George created.
It would help if they knew what a good story was.
Even the essence, their view of the essence is give something a lightsaber and it's Star Wars.
Pretty much.
While being a lesbian.
Yeah.
He embedded
made the space lesbians hot. I mean, that would have helped smooth things over a little bit.
I got several videos I could show her of hot lesbians that would have gotten a lot of people into the theaters.
There are some short independent fan films out there of Star Wars that do exactly that, so Odin knows them, right?
I heard Odin's a big fan.
All of my favorite independent filmmakers
for the plot.
have female-led films. They're all female-led.
He embedded incredible values into Star Wars and what it has to say. The whole idea of hope and fun and entertainment and what he's done over all these years. And that's exactly what you didn't do. You didn't offer hope. None of this shit was fun nor entertaining at all. That's what I tried to preserve. Oh, God.
The next line is the kicker. Yeah.
I tried.
Yes. And I wouldn't do that any differently, and I wouldn't change anything that we've done over the years.
No, why admit that you screwed anything up?
Yeah, I understand why some people may like certain things more than others, but that's not going to change why I decided to do certain things and why I decided to work with the people that we worked with.
Such a noble sacrifice, I people might hate me, but I did the right thing anyway, and I'm such a noble, virtuous person because she made Star Wars gay. Well done. Well done.
And this is also the answer to what are the lows. The lows are a tiny, tiny microscopic portion of the fan base doesn't like it.
Yep.
That's what she's trying to say. That a tiny, insignificant fraction of the fan base doesn't like it. Those are the lows of her job. It's kind of wild, and obviously we all know that's not the case. If there is a tiny microscopic but very loud portion of the fan base, it's obviously the weirdos with pronouns in their bios. It's those people. It's the Acolyte fans. It's the people that were screaming when the Acolyte got canceled.
It's the same people watching Starfleet Academy too.
Yes, other than us. Fuck
Skip. She talks about how different Jon Favreau and Tony Gilroy are. Okay. Very observant. That's what I think I do well. And that's what I like to do and want to continue to do. And hopefully that took Star Wars into the next step. We'll see in the long run, but it feels like it did. I feel like we expanded the universe. We brought new audiences in.
No, you fucking did not. No, you did not.
Wow.
You've been a streaming service for 7 fucking years.
Again, I don't remember when it was. It was around The Last Jedi, where Bob Iger said we're going to have a Star Wars movie every single year for the foreseeable future.
It was when they announced the plan. They announced their timeline. 2015 was going to be Force Awakens. 2016 was going to be Rogue One. 2017 was going to be Last Jedi. 2018 was going to be fucking Solo. 2019 was Rise of Skywalker. And they intended to do that, like one on, one off. Like every year, there'd be one that would be like part of a bigger thing, and then a standalone.
Yeah, like at the time they called them anthologies, and then they moved away from that term. Yeah. It just all fell apart after the sequel trilogy. That and Solo.
Yeah.
Well, the same with Patty Jenkins' Rogue One movie as well. Rogue Squadron, because that was on, and then they did a big promo for it and everything, and Patty was talking about her father being a pilot and all that kind of stuff. Then it got shelved after, I think, due to Wonder Woman 84. Then we got told that, oh no, it's alive, and it looks like it's going to be going into like production soon. And then nothing again, like nothing for like 2-3 years again.
She mentions early on, guys, that she talked to people like David Fincher and Vince Gilligan and Alex Garland, but did nothing with them and decided to go with Charmin Obaid-Chinoy.
I talked to those guys one time, though.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way Vince Gilligan would have worked for her.
No,
there's no fucking way.
No way.
There's no fucking way.
This is one of the interesting things about her stepping down, though, and Dave Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brennan taking the place. Everyone in the fucking industry will talk to Kathleen Kennedy, right? Like these conversations that she has with people, they happen because she's been in the fucking industry forever and she fucking knows everybody. And that was kind of her role, right?
Yes.
And it's why they even get the connections to a lot of these people.
And because of her husband. Let's not forget that part.
Exactly. Obviously, Marshall's a huge part of that. But like her being married to him is part of that.
Yeah.
So now that she's not there, and I think it's one of the reasons she stayed there so long, and they wanted her to stay there for so long. Now, what does that look like going forward? I don't fucking know.
While not mentioning, sorry, Disbrew, Willow at all in this article.
I was more scared that she said Taika's turned in a script that she thinks is hilarious, which is probably the greatest condemnation of comedy you could have.
He talks about Donald Glover has turned in a script, and as you have read, Steven Soderbergh and Adam Driver turned in a script written by Scott Burns. It was great. Anything's possible if somebody's willing to take the risk.
She is with somebody else's money.
He's just name dropping.
Yes.
They cleared it, right? Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy cleared it, according to the articles that came out. But when they sent it up to Disney, Iger and Bergman said, no, we're not doing this.
Yes. They tried to, and then people felt like they had to apologize to Kathleen Kennedy for some reason. That's crazy. I remember when I came into this job, the first thing Bob Iger said to me was, be bold. So I'm going to recap. So I'm just going to cast brunette British women and everything. Be bold.
And you want to talk about being bold? That was Michael Eisner, where he fundamentally changed the company when it was about to go under. Bob Iger has done the exact opposite of being bold.
Yes.
Literally the exact
safest
opposite.
thing possible.
Yes. Good Lord.
Bland.
I've always liked that because I think you have to be bold and you have to be willing to take risks with people and with ideas.
Okay. Sure.
It was a decision.
Companies have Wall Street to please. It's like, but if you please the customer, you'll please Wall Street because the customers will give you money.
I mean, but if you really think about it, she didn't even be bold at all. She just followed what the socially acceptable thing was that everyone was pointing towards you have to do. It was just to follow the clapping seals, do the whole virtue signaling bullcrap, and don't push against the trend of the woke, mind virus at all, and destroyed everything in the process. You have
to, like, she does think that's bold, though. She thinks she's standing up against some great oppressor.
She's on the right
she's
side.
just pushing against an open door.
To everyone's claps and approval.
Yeah.
It's like if she actually would have been bold, she would have kept Star Wars the way it was.
I love it when somebody who works for a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company that works with the concentration camps in China talks about fighting the oppressor.
Yeah.
Great. Good stuff.
It's always easy to do that from the safety of America, right? But it's like, try saying that over there and see what happens to you. Oh, that's right, you won't.
They talk about Rian Johnson. Once he made the Netflix deal and went off to start doing Knives Out films, that has occupied a huge amount of his time. That's the other thing that happens here.
What a bunch of bullshit. You motherfuckers announced his trilogy in 2017. When did he sign with Netflix? This is a fucking lie, and this is bullshit. I don't know.
She's about to put out the reason we all know.
Fucking dumb
bitch. Later.
She's talking about like the time it takes. Basically, you have to, drop whatever you're doing and spend 3 or 4 years doing something. That's why she brings up Sean Levy when Stranger Things took off. He really couldn't do anything. But then she goes, that's what happened with Ryan. He had to drop everything. And then I do believe he got spooked by the online negativity.
Why would you get spooked by it, though? I mean, there's so few people. It's just a small, tiny part of it.
You're not a horse.
I want to hear Ryan Johnson's response to this.
Not making scared.
I would love to hear
the online negativity that he was spurring on with his gaslighting by, tweeting images of middle fingers.
Yeah, he
and calling people man babies.
Yeah, he was playing.
That Ryan Johnson.
That crap.
Yeah. So he was out there actively gaslighting fans, and then he got spooked. And why do you got to say spooked, by the way? Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
You're not MI5.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy watches FNT if she's talking like that. So.
I think Rianne made one of the best Star Wars movies. He's brilliant.
Don't worry, in 20 years, it'll be looked at like the next Cabin Boy.
We're almost there.
It'll get a cult audience.
He's a brilliant filmmaker, and he got spooked.
You said spooked twice.
Spooked.
She's calling you a bitch, Ryan.
Yes.
It'd be great if you went, Ryan was crying. He was crying.
He's scared of pixels.
Yeah.
He made us a great movie, but he was a bitch.
It's like a guy like ghosts a girl, and they're like, "Oh, he's just scared of how great you are."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
Oh, I love this line right here. Let's go.
This is the rough part. When people come into this space, I have every filmmaker and actors say to me, what's going to happen? They're a little scared.
Yeah. As you wait a minute. It's only a few people online, though. I'm not understanding this.
It's just a small group.
Small group of insignificant people. Not understanding this.
Star Wars is such a dumpster fire that everyone they approach is like, is it going to be good or is it going to ruin my career?
And then this next paragraph, she doubles down on that shit and plays more. Oh, look at these
women. You've developed a thicker skin,
small group of people. It's so tough for people to come into this space.
Those trolls really didn't bother you, did they? Basically, what that is.
I'm honest, especially with the women that come into this space because they unfairly get targeted.
They don't release little production videos where they call everybody racist or anything,
No.
Whole rap songs about discourse and then copyright claim people that want to have discourse about it.
She just said that like, it was so tough for Ryan Johnson that he got spooked and ran away like a bitch, right?
But the women.
But it's so unfair for the women. It's like no, if you're gonna make something dog crap, the fans are just gonna dump on it. And honestly, I think Ryan Johnson has gotten more crap deservedly than Reva or whoever played that character or something like that.
Even Mark Hamill.
Yeah, exactly.
He's deserved it.
Hamill annihilated him leading up to the release of that film. He absolutely fucking destroyed him. In every interview he did, he was shitting all over Rian Johnson to the point where I think we were all giggling about it. And then he got the knock, didn't he? He clearly got the call to say, Mark, you're under contract. We're paying you a lot of money. Stop shitting all over fucking Ryan. And then suddenly he just changed his tune. He was all pro Ryan, pro this and pro that. It's just like, nah, mate.
Start speaking the right words, boy.
Yeah.
I just can't stand this false victim narrative that the woke, crowd always pushes. Like it's the women that's always get unfairly targeted. Let's ignore the crap that men deal with. It's always,
No, it's the exact same crap that men get, but they're just expected to take it.
I talk about this all the time. The internet doesn't give a fuck who you are. They're going to roast you. It doesn't matter. Yep. It does not matter who you are. This is how it works. Now, if you want to paint a fake victim narrative around it, go for it. But we see through that bullshit too. Everybody gets shit online. That's how it is.
And that's how it's
just because you make
been.
Because you make a weak character and people are critical of that weak character does not mean that they are attacking the person who's playing that character. They're being critical of the terribly written character, and that's the reason why it's like it makes it even worse that she's saying this nonsense.
But they think vagina is a character. That's half the problem.
And it also just so happens to be that women and minorities get way more defensive and pretend to be victims way faster than most white men do. So that's why we see so many freakouts over this.
Why?
Reva,
Wow,
like
it's
Moses
they
Ingram,
realize they're getting fucking token hired.
Moses Ingram was maybe like the character of Reva might have been like the 6th or 7th biggest, like most important backlash for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. There was so much in there that was more about Obi-Wan's character and about Darth Vader and Anakin's character and like a multitude of things before the importance of like the backlash towards Reva. Yet that was the thing they put to the top of the pile because it's the easiest thing to attack fans with. Oh, fans are being racist because 2 people called Moses Ingram the soft N-word in her DMs. Oh my gosh. Oh, what are we gonna fucking do? What's the world coming to?
And if you believe that Ewan McGregor made that video out of the goodness of his heart, that was 100% studio calling him up.
He wasn't looking at the script to his left at all.
Jeremy, he pulled over on his way to his mistress's house and made an authentic video. Okay.
This is what I think. I think they called him, hey, have you seen what's going on? Could you say something to support? And he's like, well, of course I would. I'm sure he jumped at the idea of doing it. You know what I mean? Not like, I don't think anybody held a gun to Ewan McGregor's head, but certainly he was made aware. Yeah. As he said, he was made aware.
Well, and this was coordinated. They were setting her up for this and they were ready for this. And this does happen. Okay. This is something that does get directed by marketing departments, particularly at Lucasfilm and at Amazon. While Jennifer Salke was around, they were completely prepared and, well, we'll say pre-prepared for all of this. And that's why they take these shots at the fans before something comes out because they know the backlash they're going to get. They absolutely know. I'm going to reread this. I'm honest, especially with the women that come into this space because they're unfairly targeted. I don't try to sugarcoat it. And I emphasize that it's a very small group of people with loud megaphones. I truly do not believe it's the majority of fans. She doesn't believe it, guys.
Where did they go then? They're not watching your
Gary, I have a question.
That's us. He's totally talking about us with that.
Gary, I have a question. How many subscribers did you have when you started making videos about Disney Star Wars?
30,000.
Damn. It's interesting how you grew to like 1.2 million subscribers. By talking about the death of Hollywood and identity politics and shit like this for it just to be a small group of people that don't matter.
Yeah.
So literally every person,
small group of people.
Yeah. Every single person watching the stream doesn't matter, according to Kathleen Kennedy. Every person that watches any of these videos and is emotionally invested in Star Wars because you grew up on Star Wars and you loved what George Lucas created, your feelings do not matter. You are insignificant. You do not matter. You are irrelevant, according to Kathleen Kennedy, which her vision will continue to carry on throughout Lucasfilm. Just think about that.
Well, in a lot of ways, this kind of mirrors what Jinx Monsoon said. Like a year ago. Like, for every fan we lose, we'll gain 5 new ones. That was the expectation, and that's obviously not the fucking case.
Well, unfortunately, 41% of them disappeared for some reason.
You lost over $1 billion worth of value there.
But that's the delusion of living in an echo chamber, is you only see yourself, therefore you think you're so far overrepresented, and then your product goes out into the real world where it's truly represented, and they just can't handle the fucking fallout from it.
It would be one thing if, we were talking and these videos were getting big views. You could put in the same perspective as well. Look at these weirdo freaks that get massive views on Twitter, like whatever. Okay. You can try to say that. The problem is, even if you want to pretend like YouTubers with big channels that are making big videos, even if you don't want to think that that represents a huge portion, you can say that. But the problem is, what's the trend for the general audience? The trend for the general audience for years has been that no one gives a fuck about Star Wars at all. The viewership numbers are awful. The Disney Plus numbers are pathetic. For each new thing they come out with, it gets worse and worse and worse. The audience is gone. The normie audience is gone. So you can try to discard YouTube numbers. You can try to discard stuff on Twitter or social media, but the facts are the facts. And when you look at the viewership that is available, publicly available, they have been decimated. Fans have left Star Wars.
You can see a lot of it in the merchandise too. I mean, just go to any store that still has a toy section. I mean, look at what Star Wars used to take up a lot of that real estate, and it's barely anything anymore. They can't sell it. If you really want Star Wars toys, you got to go to Ollie's. Anywhere else, like, you just don't see that kind of merchandise anymore. You see Marvel still.
And when you look at, obviously, when Force Awakens came out, it did $2 billion. When you look at the video game side of Star Wars, it's just been fucking horrendous. But like Battlefront 2015 and 2017, those games had, especially 2015, massive sales to start out. And then it just did not maintain. There was no campaign mode in Battlefront 2015. And the online multiplayer, people fizzed out. That game sold a fuck ton, though. The point being is that it showed the strength of the brand and how quickly they destroyed all of that. It's actually impressive what she's done, to be fair. It's impressive.
You have to try to fail this hard.
It really is impressive.
But as Ryan said, if they hadn't made any Star Wars, it would be better off. If Disney had just kept the license and made fucking toys and did nothing, they'd be better off. I want to reread this. And I emphasize that it's a very small group of people with loud megaphones. I truly do not believe it's the majority of the fans. And I think we're also in this weird world of where bots can affect things.
So is it a small number of people or a massive loads of people where you think they're all fake? Because you can't. Both of those can't be true.
Yes. The answer is just yes. You know, it's whatever it needs to be at that time for them.
Yeah. And the reality is there's a lot of people at Lucasfilm that have our names written on fucking notepads by their side who know exactly who we are. And we're on like a no list for them. So
that is a fact, by the way. That is a fact.
To keep like blacklists for people, even for people who work for you that they're not allowed to follow on social media, things like that. So it's very strange. Just a small group of insignificant people, yet you give warnings out to your fucking employees that you're not allowed to follow people like us.
A certain actor was told specifically not to follow geeks and gamers. And
Yeah.
I wanted to get to the Solo thing real quick before we go. She talks about all the other projects that are open, and then she's asked about regrets. I think it's down here.
Did she say I've had a few? There again. A few to mention.
She said, actually, she says, no, I don't really have any regrets.
I did everything right.
Yes, I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
Maybe
Brad's never been stronger.
Well, maybe a bit of a regret about Solo, a Star Wars story.
Really? What if they lost money?
Which is worse, Solo or Dial of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny, because at least for Solo, you don't see Han Solo. You know what I mean? You see people that's cosplaying as it, whereas it's still Harrison Ford in Dial of Destiny.
That's a good point.
I brought Larry Kasdan in on, and we were so excited about that idea. And then when you're into something and you realize fundamentally, conceptually, you cannot replace Han Solo, at least right now.
We would if we could.
And this is it's crazy because in reality, one of the biggest mistakes they've made is not making stories with Han, Luke, and Leia in them. And when you have the entire timeline at your disposal, eventually, at some point, you do have to be open to recasting those characters. And I think what she's saying, at least right now, meaning while they're still alive, we can't. Yep. I think that's like what they mean. But ultimately, that's what a lot of fans would have wanted. Stories about Han, Luke, and Leia. Not when they're all separated, never fucking talk to each other, but when they actually interact.
But it's also
right after Return of the Jedi. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah. And then real quick on Indiana Jones, she just basically says, well, Harrison wanted to do it. She's just fucking Harrison Ford. Fuck.
He wanted the money. Sure.
God.
Indy will never be done. She said, it's pretty done. Like, look at, I listed her accomplishments in my video, which were just off the top of my head. And I'm sure there are more, but she is the first woman to produce a Star Wars flop and an Indiana Jones flop. So congratulations.
Wow.
It's impressive.
It is impressive. Her failure will be studied. Not in the legacy media or anything. They're going to ignore it. And like I said in my video, and you guys said earlier, that she will just get awards and accolades. She's going to go out victorious on this and then stick around to produce the next two movies. And she's way more interested in Starfighter than she is in Mandalorian and Grogu, because she talked about it a lot more. But then we'll see what happens to her after that.
Again, this is who Dave Filoni is. If you think the Force was female with Kathleen Kennedy, you don't know Dave fucking Filoni, right?
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get furry. That's
get ready for Ahsoka to be placed at the top of the pyramid.
Yep.
No, she's going to be the chosen one.
I know, but they're going to make it. Yeah, she's going to be the chosen one.
Yeah, I mean, the dude who sat in the round table of the architects of the sequel trilogy when they were talking about what they should do going forward, right? Who was it? Kathleen Kennedy who said we need femininity to subvert masculinity. We need the matriarchy to subvert the patriarchy. No,
she said that?
It was Dave Filoni who said those things.
I was wondering. I was like, I don't remember her saying it. Go ahead.
Right. It was Dave Filoni, the lispy queer Dave Filoni, who sat up and said those things. This is who he is. This is who he's always been. It's who he will continue to be. And it's why he continued to get more power. And it's why Kathleen Kennedy recommended him for the job and helped him get the experience he needed to make Bob Iger and Alan Bergman feel comfortable with Dave Filoni taking over. That's part of it. They were a little hesitant about Dave Filoni because he hadn't had a ton of live action experience. So they wanted to wait till he got that live action experience. Yet you think that Filoni is the savior of some kind. You stupid fucks. I've been preaching to you dumb motherfuckers forever. Forever about Dave Filoni. Why did I do this? I made my channel. I've been preaching about this stupid piece of shit. And a lot of y'all thought he was the savior. A lot of y'all thought he's secretly fighting the good fight. A lot of you still coping. A lot of you are like, well, the only reason that Dave Filoni puts queer, gay, female shit into everything is because Kathleen Kennedy's making him do it. This is who he is. This lispy, soy-filled, cocksucking bitch. It's always who he's been. And I'm an OG hater since 2008, okay? Proud. But I have been saying this from 2019, and the more shit that's come out with Dave Filoni's fingerprints on it, whether it's his shit, whether it's stuff like Ahsoka, or whether it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which he helped consult on, whether it's the Acolyte series in which he worked closely with Leslie Headland to develop, and the Force Witches were his fucking idea. Like, all of this shit, you're either fucking ignorant as fuck, or you're just goddamn stupid if you don't see that their visions are aligned and always have been.
Talk to him, Frost.
I don't understand how anybody.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.